Time for another Spider-Man video. I'm going to do a game review on Marvel's Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 5. I covered last week with Across the Spider-Verse, but yeah, doing another Spider-Man video was my choice. And this is a game I wanted to wait to do a review on. And after I did Astrobot game last month to be my first PS5 game review, now Spider-Man 2 becomes my next PS5 game to do a review. So, let's begin. It takes place where the first game left off, and even the Miles Morales spin-off game, in which you do have to play that game first and then get to this one. Peter and Miles are teamed up as they come into conflict with Kraven the Hunter, who transforms New York City into a hunting ground for super-powered individuals, and with the extraterrestrial Venom symbiotic, which bonds itself to Peter and negatively influences him, threatening to destroy his personal relationships. So, with the game being a sequel, is it as good as the first game? It's pretty complicated to say, which I'll talk about in a second. I already talked about the first Spider-Man game on PS4 before, and I love the game a lot, being my favorite game on PS4. I've done a whole review from years ago. In fact, it's one of my early videos on my channel, but it hasn't changed. And Miles Morales game, it is a pretty good spin-off game, but it's pretty short, in which I like the game, but I didn't do a review since I have very little to say other than being a spin-off game, but it was fun. Spider-Man 2 is a great step up to the Spider-Man games in terms of gameplay. Story-wise, again, I'll get to that. The gameplay is still fantastic. In fact, I like the gameplay a little more over the first one. The open world free roam over New York web slinging are still there. The fighting combo battles are still there. Still, what makes this one over the first one is the Venom part. When Peter gets the Venom, suddenly it makes the suit and the gameplay of it feels conventional. I even like the gliding during the world section. It is fun to use during the times when I travel in the game. I don't even like the gadgets. The graphics are about the same as the first game, just with more colors, contrast, lighting, and so forth. I do like the character models on them, Peter, Miles, Mary Jane, Kraven, etc. Same goes to the music in the game, which I barely have anything to say. But I think I like the music in the first game more. Now let's get to the story of the game, in which I do like the story, but if I had to pick which story I like more, yeah, the first game has a better story. Don't get me wrong, this game has a good story of the whole Spider-Man turning to Venom, in which that's happened before in comics and movies. And the plot with Kraven the Hunter is good, but I don't think it's as amazing compared to the whole story in the game. I did like the story with Harry Osborn befriending Peter Parker and even turning to Venom. That's something I like about it. I like some of the new villains, but the villains in the first game were a little more memorable. Anyways, since I was praising the story a bit, what do I not like about it? Well, the game has horror aspect in it, in which I like the suspense, I like the dark, brutal moments in the game, but I don't find it scary. I've heard video game critics say that the story and the pacing is less compelling, and I have to say, it is. But besides those, there's one part in the game that I had a struggle with the game, and that is Spider-Man in the Venom suit battling Kraven. Well, the gameplay is great and all, the battle got me so angry. Like, I played the game in medium mode and I couldn't beat him. So I went with easy mode and thankfully I finally made it. But yeah, a pretty angry, challenging moment for me, but at least I finish it. If I ever do a live stream of the game in my second playthrough, you know that I'm not gonna like that Kraven battle. But the game is very good overall. I don't think it tops the first game. And while there are elements that are better than the first game, like the gameplay, the story takes it down a little bit compared to the first game. I still recommend it if you play the Spider-Man games. And the reason why I like the first Spider-Man game on PS4 more is because it was my own experience with the game. But this is one of the best games on PS5. And no, it's not number one. Astrobot is still my favorite game on that system. That's my type of game. That is all for the review of Spider-Man 2 game on PS5. Thankfully I have no Spider-Man videos for the rest of the month. I got those two videos completed. But what the next video will be, well, it will be coming at the end of the month. I will see you all in the next one.